The Grand Council chamber stretched across 3 kilometers of polished obsidian, its crystalline walls amplifying the contemptuous laughter that echoed through the vast space. Ambassador Chen Wei stood motionless at the center, her modest human frame dwarfed by the towering representatives of 47 species that comprised the Galactic Coalition. "Humans!" wheezed Ambassador Krell through his respirator, his 6 arms gesturing dismissively. The Zephyrian's exoskeleton gleamed under the chamber's harsh lighting. Such fragile creatures. No natural armor, no redundant organs, no ability to process toxic atmospheres. How did such a pathetically weak species even achieve interstellar travel? The chamber erupted in a symphony of alien sounds, clicks, hisses, and harmonics that translated as agreement through Chen's neural implant. She remained silent, hands clasped behind her back as the mockery continued. "Their bones break under minimal pressure," added Ambassador Thane, her crystalline form refracting the chamber's light into dancing rainbows. "Their skin tears from simple contact. They require constant atmospheric regulation just to survive. And their lifespans." The voice belonged to Ambassador Yith, a gaseous being contained within a shimmering field projector. "Barely a century before their biological systems fail. How can they contribute anything meaningful to our civilization with such limited time?" High Chancellor Vrex, a massive arthropod whose species had conquered death itself through technological augmentation, raised his primary manipulator for silence. "The humans seek inclusion in our coalition, yet they offer no advantages. No superior technology, no enhanced physical capabilities, no mental prowess beyond our own. Perhaps," his mandibles clicked with amusement, "we should assign them custodial duties. Their small size might prove useful for maintenance work." Chen finally spoke, her voice carrying clearly across the chamber despite its modest volume. "Your Excellencies raise valid points about human limitations. However, I would like to request a demonstration." The laughter died instantly. Frex's compound eyes focused on the small figure before him. "A demonstration of what, exactly?" "Of human endurance," Chen replied. "You've mentioned our weaknesses extensively. Allow me to show you what humans do when faced with impossible circumstances." "Preposterous," snorted Ambassador Krell. "What could your species possibly demonstrate that we have not already surpassed?" Chen activated her personal communicator. "Computer, initiate Protocol 7. The chamber's environmental controls shifted dramatically. Temperature plummeted to -40 degrees Celsius. Atmospheric composition changed to 90% carbon dioxide. Gravity increased to 4 times galactic standard. Humidity dropped to near zero while radiation levels spiked to what most species considered lethal. Chaos erupted as alien ambassadors scrambled for their environmental suits. Emergency fields activated around the more delicate species. Warning sirens blared as life support systems engaged across the chamber. Chen stood unmoved in the center of the maelstrom. Her breath formed clouds in the frigid air, but she made no move toward protective equipment. The crushing gravity should have driven her to her knees, yet she remained upright. The toxic atmosphere that sent other species into respiratory distress seemed to have no immediate effect on her steady breathing. "Impossible," gasped Ambassador Thane through her emergency barrier. "Those conditions would kill most species within minutes." "Not humans," Chen replied, though her voice now carried the strain of extreme cold. "We evolved on a world that regularly subjected us to temperature extremes, atmospheric variations, and environmental hazards that would devastate most civilizations. Our weak biology is actually an adaptation engine." She began walking slowly around the chamber's perimeter, each step deliberate despite the crushing gravity. "You see redundant organs as a sign of superior design. We developed the ability to function with massive organ damage. You prize exoskeletons and natural armor. We learned to heal from injuries that would permanently cripple other species. The environmental conditions grew even harsher. Electromagnetic interference scrambled most communication systems. Atmospheric pressure dropped to simulate high altitude. Yet Chen continued her circuit of the chamber. Our short lifespans taught us to accomplish more in decades than many species achieve in millennia. Our fragile bones actually bend rather than break under stress you couldn't imagine. Our pathetic immune systems can adapt to biological threats that would wipe out entire civilizations." Ambassador Yith's containment field flickered as the environmental chaos interfered with his technology. "How is she still conscious? Those radiation levels alone should have caused system failure." "Because," Chen said, now visibly shivering but still standing. Humans don't just survive impossible conditions. We adapt to them. We turn disadvantages into advantages. We make the impossible merely difficult, and the difficult routine. She stopped directly before Chancellor Vrex. Frost covered her hair, and her lips had taken on a blue tint, but her eyes remained sharp and focused. You want to know what humans offer the Coalition? We offer the one thing your advanced technologies and superior biologies cannot provide, the absolute refusal to accept that something cannot be done. The environmental systems returned to normal with startling suddenness. As warmth flooded back into the chamber and standard atmospheric conditions resumed, the alien ambassadors slowly emerged from their protective systems. They stared at Chen, who had not only survived 15 minutes of conditions that should have killed her, but had delivered a speech while doing so. Chancellor Vrex was the first to speak. Remarkable. Your species' cellular repair mechanisms must be extraordinary to prevent organ failure under those conditions. Chen smiled, color returning to her cheeks as circulation restored itself. Actually, I did experience organ failure. My kidneys shut down at minute 7 and my heart went into arrhythmia at minute 10. But human biology doesn't just resist damage. It fights through it, compensates for it, and repairs itself even under ongoing stress. The chamber fell silent, except for the soft hum of ventilation systems. There are worlds in our galaxy that remain unexplored because they're considered uninhabitable, Chen continued. Planets with crushing gravity, toxic atmospheres, extreme temperatures, and deadly radiation. Worlds that could hold resources, scientific discoveries, or strategic advantages that your species deem inaccessible. She looked around the chamber, meeting the gaze of each ambassador. Humans don't see uninhabitable worlds. We see challenges waiting to be overcome. We see impossible made possible through stubbornness, ingenuity, and the simple refusal to die when death seems certain. Chancellor Vrex's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. You propose that humanity serves as the Coalition's advance force for hostile environment exploration and colonization? I propose that humanity offers something no amount of technological advancement or biological superiority can replicate. The certainty that when all else fails, when systems break down and impossible becomes inevitable, humans will find a way to endure, and in enduring, we will find solutions that benefit everyone. The vote to admit humanity to the Galactic Coalition was unanimous. Later, as the session concluded, Ambassador Krell approached Chen privately. I must ask, how did you know you would survive that demonstration? Surely you couldn't have been certain. Chen's smile was enigmatic. Ambassador, I wasn't certain I would survive, but I was certain I would try. For humans, sometimes that's the same thing.